Hello, and welcome to Black Girl Joy. My name is Nicole Celine, and I am your host, but I also will be your speaker today. This is part two of my journey dealing with Chiari malformation. I said that eventually I would talk about the symptoms and things that some patients go through, or basically what I go through. So I wanted to give you an understanding of what Chiari is. So I'm going to read it because I did download it from off the internet, um, from one of the medical books that I have access to. So Chiari malformations are structural defects in the base of the skull and cerebellum, the part of the brain that controls balance. Normally, the cerebellum and the parts of the brainstem sit above an opening in the skull that allows the spinal cord to pass through. It is called the foramen magnum. When part of the cerebellum extends below the foramen magnum and into the upper spinal canal, it is called a Chiari malformation. Chiari malformations may develop when part of the skull is smaller than normal or misshapen, which presses on the brain and forces the cerebellum to be pushed down into the spinal canal. The pressure on the cerebellum and brainstem may affect functions controlled by these areas and block the flow of cerebrospinal fluid, which most people know as CFF. The clear liquid that surrounds and cushions the brain and spinal cord. So, what are the symptoms of Chiari malformation? Some individuals with CM may not show any symptoms. Some may change for some individuals depending on the compression of the tissue and nerves and on the buildup of the CSF. Resure. Symptoms may include, which I had, and I'll tell you which ones I have, headaches, especially after sudden coughing, sneezing, or straining, neck pain, hearing or balance problems. I have the balance problems and I have the neck pain. Muscle weakness and definitely muscle numbness. Dizziness. I don't have the difficulty swallowing as I used to before my surgery. Um, but sometimes after the surgery, and I am 7 years out, um, it's comes and goes, it seems like. I don't know why. Difficulty in speaking, I definitely have that at times. I don't have the vomiting, ringing or buzzing in the ears. I do have the buzzing in my ears. Curvature of the spine, yes. And insomnia, absolutely. Um, so, and let's see what else. Depression, yes. Problems with hand coordination or fine motor skills? Yes. Difficulty in swallowing at times, like I said. Excessive drooling, gagging, or vomiting? No, thank the Lord. I just, I don't think I could deal with those. Breathing problems? Absolutely. That is a definite for me. Difficulty eating and inability to gain weight? I have no problems eating and I have no problems gaining weight. As a matter of fact, I have gained some pounds because of COVID. Um, so I've had, like I said, my story begins. Well, I had my surgery in 2014, but prior to that, five, I want to say 5 or 6 years prior to that, after having my daughter, is when I started seeing when the symptoms started to get worse. They were always there, but as I think for me after pregnancy, it just became really it became more aware. I became more aware of it, and so yeah, and I'm 51, going on 52, and I have had the decompression, but I am still struggling with many of the symptoms, um, especially the muscle weakness and Loss of my reflexes. I drop things a lot lately, more than I used to. Um, Loss of sensitivity to pain and temperature. Um, I won't say that. Well, yeah, I have the loss of sensitivity to pain. I will say yes, I do have some of that because I have tattoos. And although yes, tattoos can be for some very painful, I seem to enjoy them very much. I don't know, maybe I have a high tolerance for pain, not sure. But yeah, it's I don't my pain level is not is very high. So I don't takes a lot, you know. And that definitely temperature for me, the cold affects me terribly. I dislike the cold to the 100th degree. I still have my headaches after the surgery. I have great stiffness in my back and shoulders, arms, and legs. I have the pain in my neck and my arms and back. I do have some of the spinal curvature. Um, and so, every day it's a challenge. Every day it's a work in progress. I'm thankful to God because He continuously helps me to get through these situations. But I wanted to just give you an understanding of what a Chiari patient goes through. Now, to see me, you would not know that I was going through anything. I mean, you would think that I was just fine. And I am. I'm not trying to, claim and say that but I'm being honest of what I have and what has afflicted me for all these years and continues to try to. I will say that if you are struggling with any of these things, to please make sure that you go and you see your doctor and and you talk to them. I said it a few times in most of my recordings that it's important for you to go and talk to your doctor, sit with your doctor, learn your body. Um, Notice, don't be is it hypochondriac? I think that's what it is. Don't go over the top, but definitely be aware of your body and your changes. As a woman, we go through many changes. I am also perimenopausal. This whole podcast started because I wanted to talk about menopause, and I still want to talk about it. It's definitely a subject that I refuse to leave on the table. Um, it's an important subject to talk about because the changes that we go through as women, sometimes we just chalk it off as nothing. Even, when it comes to having heart attacks, it's a silent killer in women and we don't talk about it enough. And I think that that's something that needs to be discussed. Um, and you may ask, like, why am I so interested in all these medical things? Because, medicine is one of the factors that I love, you know, and knowing your body, understanding your body, and being in tune with your body is important. I have so many friends who talk about being in tune with their body and knowing when changes occur or when something just doesn't seem right and they can't pinpoint where it's coming from. Um, so yeah, I do have a care, I do have an interest, and I want to talk about all these things. If there's any questions that you would ask or you want to ask me, please send me an email at blackgirljoyllc@gmail.com, and I will do my best to answer your questions in a timely fashion. Um, and if there's anything else, if you would like to be a speaker on the podcast, I would love to have you. We had authors all of the last month and the month before, and we finished with the last one, which was Miss A. Marie Davis, which was a really good one. I enjoyed that one a great deal. Um, and with Miss Jana Hicks and Miss Dolores Gilmore. And I mean, it's just, a gamut of beautiful and wonderful people that I've been blessed to interview, and I'm thankful for that. The next ones will be entrepreneurs. I really want to talk to successful entrepreneurs. I myself am an entrepreneur, but I will be quite honest, I have put that on the back burner. So I would like to continue doing my interviews, and I'd like to interview let's try this again, some successful entrepreneurs. And I will continue to talk about Chiari-1 malformation because it is a disease or a dis-ease, like my pastor says, that doesn't get enough attention. And it really does need to get attention because it is something that most times most people don't take notice of. And they think it's, especially with the symptoms of headaches and ringing in the ear, most doctors will chalk it off to something completely different, and instead of doing a simple MRI. And that is how I found out that I had Chiari. They did an MRI, and I had to push, I say this always, I had to push my doctor to allow me to get this MRI, because my blood pressure, and that's another thing, my blood pressure was normal for my teenage years. And once I had my daughter, I didn't have any issues with my blood pressure while pregnant. After my child is when my blood pressure would not go down. And I will tell you that I am not a salt eater. I try my best to eat as healthy as possible. I'm not vegan or any of those things. I just like healthy food. I really do. But I also like my fry. And if you don't know what that means, ask an island person. But yeah, so my blood pressure, even now, I take medicine to keep it under control, because it is always high, and not because of my food intake always, but most times because I'm still dealing with the pain from the brain and the pressure. Um, yeah, so my blood pressure still has not gone down. And even when I exercise and I eat even healthier than I'm eating now, it still was not going down. And I drank all kinds of teas, and I do not like tea. If you know me, you know tea is not for me. Oh, that rhymes. I like that. Yeah, tea is not for me. I don't like tea. I'm a coffee drinker. So maybe that's another reason why my blood pressure doesn't go down. But I will be a coffee drinker until my last days. So that is my only habit. If you'd like to say, I do not smoke and I don't drink. I drink occasionally, so it's not something I do on a daily basis, because of the medication that they have me on for my Chiari. Alcohol is not the best fit for it, but coffee is. So, as I said before, if there is anything you'd like to know, um, I will say for the next episode, I'd talk about things that you can do, treatments. Most treatments for Chiari, really, the bottom line is it's surgery. There isn't much that you can do because all of this is internal, and surgery really is the pretty much the only way. I no longer feel like I'm underwater because that is one of the blessings of having this surgery. The headaches, the doctor told me very clearly, may not go away, and they did not. But I no longer feel like I'm underwater and everything I hear is wah, 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 because that's what it sounded like. Um, so I thank you for listening today and allowing me to impart some more knowledge regarding Chiari-1 malformation. I hope that this was a blessing to you. Remember to like and share our page on Facebook, Black Girl Joy LLC. A few things before I end the podcast. One, I forgot to mention Mrs. Jossie Singletary, who is also one of the authors that spoke on my podcast, and I'm very thankful for her speaking. She is the author of Mommy Chronicles. Also, I wanted to mention that with Chiari, sometimes you have memory loss. And not sometimes, yeah, you do. You have memory loss. And especially the short term memory. Um, and not only does that come with age at times, it definitely comes with my Chiari. And, some days I've done this podcast and redone it a few times because I forget to mention, and I do write things down. I have a ton of post-it notes. I think I'm going to start investing in post-it notes because I need to always remember um, what I need to say. However, I do want to say thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it. Remember to like and share our page on Facebook, Black Girl Joy LLC. And once again, if you'd like to send me a message, you can at blackgirljoyllc@gmail.com. I will be more than happy to answer any questions. If you'd like to be a guest speaker on our podcast, please let me know. Send me an email. Yeah, and I wish you a wonderful day. Have a blessed evening, depending on the time that you are listening to this. And I pray that 2022 will be a wonderful, blessed, and a year of successful new beginnings. Yes, successful new beginnings. Have a great day, guys. God bless. Bye.